Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Well, hello there, kids and cuties. It's been just a second since you've heard from your friends here at the Beacon House, and we're back. We missed you guys. Thanks for waiting around. And before we go any further, I want to introduce my stellar co-host over there. Please say hello, Grace Steele.
Hey, guys. Glad to be back. Missed you. Missed you, but
Grace Steele, I missed you.
I've missed you.
I know, but it's been a minute since we did this. In fact, it's been since the Stacked Actors thing.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
It's been a minute, been a lot going on. But now it's summer, and we're back.
Hot girl summer. It's officially summer as of yesterday.
Yes.
The summer solstice. Yesterday was the longest day of the year.
Oh, fuck, was it?
Yeah, it's the beginning of summer. So today is the second day of summer.
Shit, no wonder everybody looked so tired at practice last night.
And it's fucking hot as shit. That heat index last week.
Talk to me about that heat. Now, let's cut back. Let's go back in time. Way back when we first started doing this podcast, I remember asking you, like, what type of weather do you like? And you said, oh, I'm a summer girl.
Oh, yeah.
And you said, I like sweating.
Yeah.
Grace Steele, tell the audience now, does that still hold true after this sweltering fucking 107 degree heat index bullshit we just experienced and are possibly still kind of experiencing? Where are you at on it?
I'd still take it over winter.
You would, really?
I would still take this heat and the humidity over cold, wet. 100%.
I get wet is pretty bad.
It just sucks because like you spend time and money on makeup and then you sweat and you sweat it all off. That's the part that I struggle with, that I just don't like. I don't mind sweating because like I'll just wear what I'm wearing now or like a dress.
Yeah.
Be outside, be in the water, constantly on the lake, quarry, pool.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of friends that have started wearing their summer dresses. And I was like, oh, you look really cute. Like, and they're like, I'm just trying to keep cool, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, just dresses. You got to put deodorant or like powder in between if you got thick thighs, and so they don't chafe really bad.
Chafe.
You got to keep those babies cool. And when you got big titties, you got to like watch that because you get the humidititty. You just sweat. I'll be sitting in my car, and I was in the drive-thru, and I can feel beads of sweat from my breasts on my stomach.
Humidititty. I've not heard that. Oh.
Have you not? Yeah.
Fuck no. But you can bet your ass I'm gonna fucking live by that now.
Humidititty.
I'm waiting for one of the newscasters to say that shit on the weekend news. And this week, the temperatures are going to be back up in the 90s, and we're going to have a lot of humidity. Humidity. I'm fucking fired.
Man, I would just laugh at that. Don't fire a man for humidity.
Humiditity.
Yeah. How do you think about this heat?
I fucking hate it.
Really?
I hate the fucking heat. So I realized something. I realized that I don't hate it as bad as I thought I did. But the problem is this. Back in the winter, something happened, and like I had a tree out in front of my place that like the roots grew through like a water line, and they had to come cut the tree down, and blah 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 blah.
I remember you just a headache.
It was a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
And but I didn't realize, like, the guy's like, do you have any particular attachment to this tree? And I was like, no, I didn't plant that fucking thing, And he was like, oh, we're gonna take it down. Great. Now what I realize, like, every day when I get home from work or come home from the store or whatever, there's no shade in and it's just the sun baking against, so I can't touch my fucking door handle. Like, I'm burning myself coming in and out of the house. Everything's just scalding hot out there. So the shade, I think, made it a little easier for me to, I don't know, man.
Definitely. I park in the shade. My sister, I started parking because we have a bunch of trees and I live on a lot of property.
Yeah.
But I try to like follow the shade. So when I pull up, it will be like in the driveway, and I'll just stop in the middle of the driveway and park my car there.
Where the shade is. And
my sister's like, why are you parking there? And I was like, because I have a dark car. I don't want it to be in the sun, getting in and out. So now I pull around the house and I park underneath this like beautiful shaded tree, and like it just sits there, and it's just so much better getting in my car.
That's fucking awesome.
Makes the humidities way better.
It sounds like a cigarette commercial from the 70s, like you pulling up and getting out into this giant tree, like in the shade in the summer.
Yeah,
dude. I had recently I had to get something out of the back of my car. And apparently at some point during the winter, I'd pulled like a wool blanket out of the trunk and just laid it in the back seat. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing. I may have loaned it to somebody that was cold and like got it back. Whatever. But apparently it was so conductive of the heat inside the car. Like I was digging around looking for like mail or something, and I grabbed the blanket and moved it, and part of the seat had melted under the blanket. I guess because it insulated and kept the heat in.
I guess because wool. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
but I was
that
just like,
makes sense.
fuck. But it melted like leather or pleather or whatever the fuck. Maybe it's vinyl. But it like looked like you had like literally torched it with like a heat gun. And I was like, Jesus Christ.
So it gets super hot in like Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, right? Like that heat, like Death Valley, right?
Yeah, I've heard Texas is just the hottest thing.
But would you take that dry heat over our 110 humidititty
Weather,
heat?
You know what?
Which one?
I want to say yes, but I don't actually have that much experience with the dry heat. I will say this. Around here in Tennessee, whenever it's warm but there's low humidity, I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, I could do this all day. It's
and
hot,
a
but
little breeze.
Yeah.
Little nice breeze.
I can handle
there.
that. Like a good, nice summer. But when the fucking humidity is like, it's crazy, dude. So I think I would probably like that. I don't know that I would necessarily want to live in like one of those places that doesn't have 4 seasons. I kind of like having 4 seasons. I actually like living in East Tennessee a lot.
I love East Tennessee.
I'm a fan.
I like visiting other places, but I like the 4 seasons. Don't get me wrong. I like winter.
Yeah.
But only for short period of time. I feel like it lasts so much longer than summer.
I agree.
And I'm miserable, and I don't dress the best in the winter because I just want to be comfy and warm. And I really hate being cold. Like that is just not my thing.
Yeah,
I would
I'm also,
rather be hot.
I'm not a big fan of the cold. Like getting cold, also as you get older. Like fucking spoiler. Like once I crossed the threshold of age 40, all of a sudden you start to feel cold for like the first time. Like little dumb shit. Like if it's just a little too cold in the house, you're like, brr. I'm like, when the fuck did that happen? I called one of my friends who's actually been on the show. Shout out Joe Hurley. And I was like, hey man. He's the same age as me. And I was like, dude, when did this getting cold shit start? Like, when did you fucking, he goes, I know it sucks. I was like, when did we get to the point where we're cold and like you can't get warm? When the fuck did that happen?
God, I'm not looking forward to that. So I just turned 34. My birthday was a week ago. It was last Wednesday.
Happy belated birthday, Grace Steele.
Thank you. God, I don't feel 34, but I feel it. And my mom every year does. She cooks for me like a huge meal. I have friends over. We hang by the pool. This year, it wasn't the same. I feel like I'm just getting older, getting too old to have my mom like cooking me like a dinner and all that. So it just like felt really weird. But that's probably why I like the summer so much because I'm a June baby. Yeah. Because I'm a Gemini. So I enjoyed it. But I definitely like next year, I'm probably just going to like not tell anyone it's my birthday.
Dude, I got to that point a few years ago where like I don't like make plans. I try not to like let anybody know when my birthday is. Like lately a lot it's kind of slipped a little bit because our bro and one of my absolute favorite people, Brandon Hudson, shout out. Hudson's birthday is very close to mine. We're both Libras. Mm-hmm. So like we do get a little festive, but usually that's just like, hey, we're going to go out drinking one night, like that's, but we never make a big deal out of it. Like there's like most of the time I work on my birthday and I just like do my thing. And then I
have never worked on my birthday. I won't do it. I still think like even when I get older, I just won't. Because I do love my birthday and my birthday is a big deal to me. Like it's surprising at like how many people call me on my birthday to wish me a happy birthday, and it's like, God, dude, like you remember, like, that's awesome.
It's another trip around the sun.
It's
an honor.
It's another gray hair.
Yeah, and dude, and those which somebody really good. Old, I started to say ex, like an old friend of mine who I went to school with back, and I'm talking like middle school, high school friend, like posted on Facebook recently.
Cedar Bluff?
Yes, she went to Cedar Bluff.
Go Giants.
Go Giants. And she posted, there was a mutual friend of ours, same age, who passed away about a year ago from, I believe it was cancer, but I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, she passed away and it was sudden and it was kind of unexpected. And on the 1 year anniversary of her passing away, our mutual friend who's still around posted a thing on Facebook, and it just said like, like, hey, don't be hard on yourself. Like, as you get older and you start to see a little bit of the gray hair and your waistline starts to slip a little bit or whatever, just things start to change. She goes, understand that all of those things, wear that shit like a crown, because think of all the people who didn't make it here. Like, learn to like really, really appreciate your wrinkles and your whatever. Like you're always going to miss your 20-year-old body, but you'll never miss you'll be happy. It'll be worth it to have your 40-year-old brain and your 50-year-old brain. Like old mind beats young body every time, but there is a sadness to it. But if you can start to think of, there's a rapper too, one of my favorite hip hop artists, Murs. He has a lot of songs where he talks about that. He goes, I don't want to dye my hair. I don't want to do, because like, think of all the people that didn't get here.
Yeah.
Getting old is a privilege, and it's an honor, like.
And I think a lot of people take that for granted, because I don't think about it as like being a privilege, because I'm just like, man, getting old, what do I have to show for it, so forth. But it's funny, like, not funny, but that you said it as I was going through, sometimes like I just go through like my friends on Facebook or who follows me or who I follow on Instagram, and I'm like, who the hell is this person? And I like delete. I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't know you. And I was doing that, I think it was probably yesterday, and I was going through my followers on Instagram, and it was like 7 of them have passed away in the last 3 years.
Oh, that's fucking wild.
Yeah, and then I started thinking, and I almost teared up, and I was like, man, I've been to more funerals than I have been invited to weddings or baby showers. Combined. And I've been to a few, been to some weddings, but it's like I've been to more funerals, and it is sad, because they don't make it. So that is something to look at, to remember and to recognize, like, hey, people haven't made it to my age. They didn't get to experience this, so don't take it for granted. Yeah,
and those are like, somebody that's been around the block a little bit, who has lost a lot of people and been to a lot of funerals like that, probably would tell you, as you start to push whatever the next frontier is. For you, it'll be 40. For me, it'll be 50. Like whenever we get there, and whatever the thing is, like I'm already like dealing with knee problems. I'm going to physical therapy and doing all that shit. Getting injections.
Me, I can't cough or laugh without peeing. I think that could just be from having a kid, but still, I'm like, God, Grace.
I feel like I've heard that from some of my other friends who have kids.
Yeah, it's just like a thing. And gray hair, I got to dye my hair like every 3 months.
Bro, speaking of people having kids, I need to do a shout out real quick. I was away very briefly with my friend Gabby Palladino. I know she listens to the show. And we were out at the Outer Banks for just like 1.5 days, for our friend Christy's bachelorette party. And Gabby is like 8.9 months pregnant. I mean, she's just ready
to burst.
Ready to burst. And I mean, there were so many funny pregnancy things that happened. For one, we would be sitting it was a cute little Airbnb we'd sit there, and she would just have her hands on her stomach, and I was watching her, and she kept going, get out. I'm ready for it to get out. And she said she was waiting to yeetus the fetus. So thanks for all the pregnant person here. We were standing at the bottom of some steps, and I was like, Gabby, what's going on? And she goes, my nemesis. I go, what? She goes, steps. But she was just, it was so good the whole time. But if you're listening, Gabby, thank you for all the pregnant person humor, and also for making me not look like such a blubbery whale out on the beach, because somebody else is also kind of big. Of course, yours are going to go down, but let's not talk about that.
Yeah, the last few weeks of being pregnant is the absolute worst. Like you're uncomfortable, your feet hurt, you can't sleep, you're farting constantly. Yeah, and steps, they're evil when you're at that, because you're that big, because your feet hurt, your joints hurt, and you got to get up.
Yeah.
I remember is not doing it again.
Yeah, when I see people that are that pregnant, I'm surprised there's not like a leg poking out.
At that point, I'd just be like, just yank it.
Yeah, dude.
Just like, pull that thing out.
Like, they're so pregnant, I can see the baby almost, like I'm surprised it didn't fall out on the way up the steps. But anyway.
Yeah, and being pregnant in the summer, back on the summer topic, is horrible. But you get to wear dresses. So that kind of helps, because you're not having to wear like pants and the waistband. You just get to put on a dress.
Bro, she was talking
and
about
no shoes. You can just wear flip-flops or go barefoot. That's helpful.
She was talking about how the baby is like leaning against the spine, or it's pushing upward
on a bladder.
Yeah, like you can feel
your
the
spleen. Yeah, it's so uncomfortable.
Damn, dude.
so uncomfortable.
That's fucked up. Kudos to all the people out there. Kudos to the moms, future, present, and past. Like all the moms.
Yeah.
You
to
guys,
us women, we make it.
bro. There's no look. I'm here to tell you. I'm going to speak on behalf of the men, and this may get my ass kicked, but I don't care. I'll tell you something. Like every fucking guy you know that acts tough wouldn't last through one fucking second of that stuff, dude. Like, I don't know one guy that could carry a baby to term without being just a total fucking bitch about it.
I don't know any male that could have a period for a full 5 days that we go through.
I mean, I don't know. Again, who knows? I mean, but just the things I've heard about childbirth and pregnancy are like, dude, guys are babies when they get a cold.
Girls rule, boys drool.
You're pretty much true.
I'm not doing hot girl summer. Everyone's like, hot girl summer, hot girl summer. No, I'm good. I'm chilling. I'm relaxing. I'm enjoying my friends. You know, it's a time of like in my life is I'm taking moments to appreciate what I do have and not the things I don't have, as well as reevaluate some things in my life that need to be reevaluated, like so forth friends or boundaries or job choices, things like that. TV shows that you might want to start watching. Anything of the sort, I think is...
That sounds delightful.
It is delightful. Wait, so it's lovely.
What's the opposite of that? What is hot girl summer? What does hot girl summer entail?
Smart girl summer?
Dang. I guess so.
Make smart moves for yourself.
What is the last...
Because hot girl summer usually like, you know...
You just while out all summer.
Yeah, you're single, you're looking good, you're like, this dude, like I'm doing me, you know? I'm still doing me, like don't believe, and I still look good, and I'm still dressing good, and I'm still single, but, you know, it's more about like some interpersonal growth than going out and just being a menace. I want to be a better friend to those who are good friends to me.
Oh, that's really nice.
I think that's important, and also cutting certain people out is important.
That's a constant
thing. You know? I don't think I do that enough. I don't think I reevaluate who I have surrounding me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, when shit does start happening or drama or I'm having a really difficult time, you know, then you start to see like who really starts to show up, who starts coming up to bat.
That's true.
Something that I've struggled with is cutting people out because I always want to people please, but
me too.
I'm doing it.
Me too. Boundaries, man. Setting boundaries is so fucking important, which may mean, I mean, setting boundaries could also mean cutting people off, just saying, look, you don't have a place in my life anymore, or just deciding I'm not calling that person anymore. Like, just the power of silence is incredible. And sometimes it means just like not giving those people that, like, you could still have them in your life and you could still be friends with them and stuff, but
from a distance, but
knowing when to go, hey, look, I got to go. I'm sorry, I can't listen to this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I got to step away. I also have a big problem with that too, because I'm also a big people person.
You're an air sign like me.
I am?
Yeah,
Libra?
You're a Libra.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you're an air sign, and I am, and my brother is. And so it's like we like give and give.
Yeah.
I feel like I do.
And I legitimately love people. I just love the human.
I hate people.
I love the human mechanism. I hate what here's what I think. I think I hate the things people do, and I hate a lot of the shit people say. I think people say some stupid fucking shit. Me included. I'm not taking myself out of this.
Never.
But I love just the human condition. I love people. I appreciate, like, because I think by the time you see a person that's out walking around in society, talking, doing things, just to get there, you have to go through so much shit. Like childhood is lovely, but also brutal. Mm-hmm. Like, I went to public schools, and it's a bloodbath.
Yeah.
So you have to, like...
And they don't give you weapons to help.
No weapons. You have to fight your way out of that shit with like a tuna can and a jar of peanut butter.
Basically. And a number 2 pencil and an eraser.
Yeah, that little pink eraser. But the thing is like, I don't know, just when I see even if somebody's like sucking up a bunch of my time, telling me stuff I don't care about, or trying to get me to like buy into something that I don't buy into, or just whatever. People just come up and say shit to you sometimes. And I know you know that too, but like, I have a lot of empathy for just how they got there, what made them that way, and probably how it feels to be them, just to the point where I can't just go, nope, fuck off and walk away. Like, I just don't have it in me to do that. But because of that, I get stuck a lot.
Yeah, I'm learning that I need to do that more. I need to do the fuck off, get away from me shit more and not let it drag out so long.
Yeah.
Because I do. I let it drain me until there's nothing left of me to give.
Yeah, and then when one of the people comes along who's not a piece of shit.
And I'm like, fuck you, please get away from
or
me.
you just have nothing left to give them. Like when your bro comes up and goes like, hey, you want to go get a coffee? And you go, I can't.
Yeah.
Because somebody that you don't give a fuck about, you let them suck up your entire weekend, fucking you know, like, I don't know, like just sucking all the life out of you, basically. And then when it comes time to actually like be around the people you really care about, the people you live for.
You don't have energy.
Yeah,
you don't have anything to give.
I can't do it. So if anybody's listening to this, if you've gotten that from me, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy, or I'm sorry, like that, it ain't you. It's probably because somebody else that was more in my immediate line of it, like literally standing in front of my car, and I had to go, what do you want?
Yeah.
Also, I sound super ungrateful for like people that talk to me. I don't mean to come off like that.
I don't think you ever do. And you've always been there for me, no matter what. And I know that I can be draining.
I don't know. I don't get that from you.
I feel like I drained myself, and I've recently I have some new friends. They're not new people, but they're new friends. Super smart. I love them. It's a couple, and they're like there, and they stepped up. You know, like I made a post on Facebook about like I was having like a really shitty day.
Are these the people that brought you coffee?
Yeah, and like I was like, you know, he just happened to message me being like, hey, did you make it to work on time? And I was like, yeah, but I still got yelled at or something like that. And I was like, and I didn't get coffee. So now I'm irritable and I'm hungry. And he just like showed up at my work with iced coffee and a bagel. And I was like,
top notch.
I was like, that my heart, like that, like the little things that people do, it just made me feel good. And so like, I have new friends in my life that are there,
but you would do that.
They don't want anything from me. And that's
you would
the
do
thing.
that. You would do that for somebody else.
I would do that, and I wouldn't expect anything in return. And a lot of the people I have in my life or that I've now cut off, they just take. That's all they're doing is taking and taking and taking, and they don't give anything back. They don't. So it's like what you said, the next person who comes along, like you or my new friends or an old friend, my best girlfriend, she comes along, she needs me. It's like, I got nothing for you. And I have a kid and I got family. So it's like, I got to be able to like give something to my daughter and be there for her. But man, sometimes I just got to tap out. I can't.
Dude.
So,
and there's no shame in it, but I'll tell you what, I absolutely know. I mean, I've seen you, you're super outgoing and you're super caring and I've seen you go out of your way for people. You've always had a giving spirit. You've always had charitable spirit.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Who, me?
You did. Even if you're dealing with the humidititty, you're still very, I'm bringing it back. You're still dealing. But here's the thing. I think it's important. And if anybody's listening to this too, check it out. If you find that you have, like if you would go bring someone coffee and not expect anything in return, if you would lend an ear or go cheer your buddy up who's feeling down and not expect anything in return. If you have those qualities, expect that. Don't let that be. If you're not getting that also, there's a problem. Like you're living proof that people do nice stuff.
Yeah.
So don't think like, well, I'm the only one who does that. Nobody ever do that to me. Yeah, they would. And they're out there. So
and
find
you should
the people.
check who's around you.
Fuck yeah, dude. You've heard people say you're the average of the 5 people that you talk to the most or the 5 people you spend the most time around. Like that can either be inspiring or that can be fucking scary.
Yeah, and that's the first time I've heard that, but I had to do that a couple of weeks ago, like take a check at like who I got around me.
Yeah.
You know, like I have goals. I'm trying to reach my goals. I want people who are productive. I want people who are good and kind around me.
And who support it.
Yeah, and supporting.
You can do it. Hey, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Go for it. How can I help? Instead of just being negative, well, what are you going to do for me? Or, you know.
I don't got time for people who aren't going to ask me how I'm doing.
That's right.
Like if you're not going to check in on me or you know I got something going on in my life or something big and you don't ask me how I'm doing, but I'm always asking you or what do you need? At this point, you can get out.
Get out.
I'm done.
And also, if nobody checks in, they don't call on they don't hit the big things, but like then they show up and they want something. You know what I mean? Then that's still not
I'll teach
okay.
Finn to bite. He doesn't bite at all, but I'll teach Finn to bite, and he'll bite you.
Like in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and he just tears the guy's junk off.
Finn likes to protect his mama.
Yeah, dude.
He does. He's a good boy. He went swimming today. Room smells like wet dog though, but it's good. Now he just jumps in the pool.
I'd love that.
Jumps right in. I think it's like he wants to be as close to me as possible, or to make sure I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
So wherever I am in the pool, he's swimming that right there. That's just how he is. He just gravitates. I love my dog so much.
Amazing. That's amazing.
And I was walking him, and I was like, man, like your animals are a lot of like an extension of you. You know what I mean? Like how your animals act and behave. You can see a little bit of that in your animal. Finn's very caring and giving. Like he's very emotionally intelligent.
Yeah.
And that's like me.
I can see that. Now I have cats, so maybe they don't display that as well.
That's an exception. They're Satan.
Yeah. I think they just memorize what I do, so they'll know when they can get things. I will say this though, like they do know. They definitely do. They're little shits, but they definitely do know, like, if I don't feel well, if I'm sick, and I come home and I'm just like, ugh, and I lay down, they get all around me. And they do that. They'll all, like, sleep real close to me in bed if I'm sick. Like, they just know when you don't feel well.
Because they can sense. And all animals want to, like, with their owner, want to make them feel better.
Yeah.
Finn's the same way. If I'm sad, angry, sick, he's right there.
Yeah, and even my cats do that stuff, too. Or if it's just time to, like, relax. Like, as soon as like I get done with everything, put everything up, get everything fed, put the laundry in or whatever, finally sit down at the end of the day, like it's all over with.
Yeah.
Maybe to watch something on TV or eat or just to decompress. Boom, they're right there. And they do the same thing. They just sprawl out, So like we kind of have a thing. Yeah, dude. But I had I remember a long time ago, I had an ex-girlfriend but we used to just marvel about how awesome it is to have pets and just what it says about somebody when they care about animals a lot, and just what that does to somebody. Like I've got a really good friend, and her little girl is 2, and they just got the little girl a cat, and they're teaching her how to like not be too rough with it or whatever. And now that she just sends me pictures every day of like the girl just hugging this cat, and the cat's hugging the girl too. And so this little girl's growing up with a pet.
Oh, best friends for life.
Yeah, and just think like I just think that's a great way for people to, I don't know, it just teaches people this kind of empathy that you don't, you know what I mean? If you just grow up never being around animals or just not.
I think that's so strange to people. I understand people like parents being allergic, so like you can't get one, or the child's allergic, but there's something you can have that you're not allergic to, like a bird, a lizard, hamsters, gerbils, rats.
And there's something about
a goat.
When you teach a kid, like, all right, listen, you've got to take care of this animal. This animal needs you. Without you, it's going to die, even though the parents maybe step in and save it. But if a kid understands, like, something's counting on it, that gives you a whole new...
Oh, yeah. I try to explain it to Anna.
Yeah.
But she's just at that age that she's...
How old is she?
She'll be 10 in August.
Oh.
So she gets it. She has a hamster, and she doesn't take care of it.
At that age, I had a hamster, and it was hard for me to take care of. I loved it, and I cared for it.
We were talking, she goes, well, you moved it outside, so I forget about it. I said, well, that proves right there why you should not have one, because you cannot remember. And so it's, understanding and trying to teach. She's just right there. She's just not, even though she's 10, she's just not ready, I guess. She has too much going on. She's an only child. She's spoiled. Dude,
well, I'd say like pre-age 9 and post-age 19 is probably between like 9 and 19.
They're just so selfish.
Nobody knows. I mean, you're basically going into and coming out of a cocoon at that point.
I'm just waiting on her to start her monthly flow. It's coming soon. And the next year it will be there. And that's terrifying.
Oh man,
that's terrifying for me. So, but we've been doing a lot of
teenager.
We've been doing a lot of play dates. We've been doing play dates, going to the quarry, picking up her friends, doing that.
Oh, yeah?
It's been fun. Yeah. She's spending the next 3 days with a friend. My parents are in Jamaica, and I've been busy because I'm on a new adventure.
Ah, that's right. Talk about that. Speaking of animals and things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, animals are my life. I have a very extensive background in animal care.
100%.
I've been around critters since I was little, grew up on a horse farm. So I have left the company I was working for as a dog trainer, and I am venturing on my own to try it. So I'm starting out by just doing like pet sitting, dog walking, doing some like little basic obedience
New
when
frontiers.
needed.
Yeah.
Just trying to see, because I really sat down and like, I just honestly like last year's been hell work-wise. Like I've just been unhappy everywhere. And I just want to do something that I know that I'm good at and that I enjoy. And so I am taking on this solo gig, seeing how it goes, And
this is totally your wheelhouse. You're great with dogs. You're an expert with dogs. You have one of the best, most well-behaved, most well-adjusted dogs I've ever seen.
Oh, well, he's not. He's very well behaved, but I wouldn't say he's the best trained.
Well, I mean, you should see some of the dogs. I know. Most of I have people who have dogs that have had dogs for years, and they just act like it's an accident. Like the dog's just tearing their entire life up, and they're like, "Oh my God, stop!" And it just doesn't.
Yeah, most dog trainers, if you meet their dogs, if majority of their dogs or the dog they have is not well trained, like it knows the basic, but anything else, it's because they put everything else into other people's pets. That when they get home, they're like, I don't want to train my dog today. Like I don't want to have to deal with this.
So you could do a thing where you like come along and you step, like if somebody has a dog and they thought they could handle it, but then they just can't. The dog's either like super high energy, or it needs more exercise than they're giving it, or more attention than they're whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. The animal just has needs that they're not meeting, and for that reason, the animal can't get trained and it misbehaves, or what. You could come along and help somebody with that.
Yes.
A lot. Let me ask you this: what would you say is the single biggest? I don't want to say mistake, but single biggest opportunity you see in people that are having trouble training their animals? Like, what are they missing, or what's the one thing that occurs more often than not? What's the problem with most dogs?
Leash pulling and jumping is probably like what I see the most. And people are like, when they come to me and they're like, "Can you help me with this? Can you help me with this?" It's jumping and leash pulling.
And leash pulling is like where they take it out on the leash. And it just
you're
goes
on the leash and the dog's just pulling. The dog, there should be slack in the leash, and the dog can feel the tension. So having a harness for your dog is like very crucial. That's like the number one thing we always say. But of course, you can have the correct tools, but if you're not doing the right, what's the word I'm looking for?
Following through.
Yeah, if you're not following through, you're not doing the right commands, then it's not going to work. So it's basically, it needs to be a human and pet relationship.
Okay.
When it comes to it. And consistency. A lot of people are not consistent. Like me, I'm not consistent with Finn on some things. And that's where you really, you got to follow through on is consistency. Like if you got a 10-minute walk and you're tired and you just want to go back home. Well, if that dog's pulling, you need to be consistent on stopping, teaching them, and then moving forward.
See, I didn't even realize you could train a dog to not pull. I just assumed that dogs that like to sniff and get really excited just pull you all over the fucking place.
No.
I didn't realize you could teach a dog how to.
Yeah, and it's just like it's just managing it. Same with jumping, is being consistent.
Yeah.
Dogs don't understand what no mean. Like we're just making noise. Like they don't know we don't know what we mean. So we have to use body language as well as a command.
Like for instance,
that
like
is
a hand
specific.
signal or what?
Yeah, there's hands. So when dogs are jumping, you never want to be facing them. You always want to have your back turned. So if they're jumping, turn your back. Don't talk to them. Don't say no. Don't yell. Just turn your back. And then when they start to settle and they're starting to sit, that's when you can give the command of sit. Right? So I always do with Finn, my command for Finn when he's jumping is no jumps. No jumps. And he knows what that means. And so he won't jump on me. But if someone doesn't know and they just come in and they're like, off, no, down, he has no idea what that means. So he's going to continue jumping.
Yeah.
So I have to tell people, turn your back to him and you need to wait for him to calm down. Once he's calm, make him sit, then give him attention. And that's like the one thing that's best that I've seen the most.
Is that generally the first thing that you teach a dog is sit?
Yeah.
Like how to sit and to
yeah,
just sort
there's
of
sit, stay, lay, leave it, come. Yeah, walking on a leash.
Are there, and I'm sure I know the fucking answer, but just to put this out there, are there certain breeds that train way better than others? There've got to be, I'm guessing, right?
There are, I don't like to say specific breed, like, oh, they're like this. There are breeds that are more stubborn.
Yeah.
They're harder, like fucking poodles, dude. They're smart as shit, but man, they're stubborn as hell.
Yeah.
Finn's a chow mix. They're super stubborn. If you don't get them start training them at an early age, later on in life, like they don't give a fuck what you're saying to them. Great Pyrenees, I think Great Pyrenees one of the hardest because they're just so thick-headed. But no, not really. It's just a consistency. You have to be more. You have to be strong. You have to be headstrong over the dog. Like
so if somebody were to come up and start telling a story about like, well, like I've tried everything I can with this dog, but like it's a poodle, so there's just no hope. You can't train him at all. Like that's horseshit.
I would call horseshit on that.
That's somebody.
I'd be like, you probably weren't consistent, and let me see what you were doing.
Yeah.
And also really 90% of dog training is training a human.
Dang.
Like you gotta teach the human how to do it.
That was fucking knowledge.
Like it has not like the animal. You be telling the animal all the
Train
stuff,
the
but
human,
if you don't
train
know
the
what
dog.
to do, then that's why I got all these men whipped. I wish. No. So, but it's basically training a human. So when you go in and you have a client and you're training, it's best that the client is seeing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm teaching not only the dog, I'm teaching them because I need the dog's not going to be successful if the owner can't do it.
Gotcha.
Because I'm not there all the time. I'm not there 24 hours. I'm not going to be there in a month. I'm not there. So, what I'm doing, you gotta do it.
So you might not just get hired by somebody that doesn't have time to like take the dog out for a walk or
No, they can hire me. I will walk your dog if you do not have time
but also
to do that.
You might also get hired by somebody that just doesn't know how to deal with their dog, and you go show them how to train
Yeah,
their
like
dog.
if your dog is jumping on people when you have guests walking over, or you don't like them in the kitchen and they won't get out, or the dog won't stop chewing on your controller.
What do you do if a dog? How do you stop a dog chewing on things?
It's a leave it command. It's an action command.
Interesting.
Yeah. So you want the dog, leave it, get away, come to me. I do it with Finn constantly. Finn eats like random crap in the yard. Like just all, like I think he was eating poison ivy today.
Damn.
Yeah. And like I just leave it. Finn, and he does this look of like, and then he tries to be sneaky and go around to another end, and I'm gonna leave it. Finn. And he just walks away. I want them to walk away from whatever it is that that I don't want him touching.
With.
Yeah.
Dang.
There's also the place command is very important.
Wait, what's that?
It's like you have a place, a designated spot. Maybe it's a dog bed or a corner, something where you want your dog to go. If you have people walking in,
Yeah.
And you don't want the dog jumping, go to place. And the dog needs to stay in its place until the people are coming in, till their people are inside, and then the dog can approach when ready. But it needs to stay in its place the whole time.
Ooh, interesting.
And the same you can do with the kitchen while you're cooking. You don't want the dog in your business begging while you're eating dinner. Go to your place. Sit and stay. It's lay, stay in one place.
I see.
And we use place as the command word.
Man, I think that's fascinating. Because just as like I said, I have cats, and you can't teach a cat to do shit.
You can.
Really?
I won't because I'm allergic, but you can train cats.
Well, I know you can. Technically, on paper, you can train them to use the toilet, but it's messy. It's a really messy process where you have to buy these little rings, and anyway, it's a long story. But like, mine are trained well enough to like they know when things are happening. Like they know when I come in, they know when they're going to get treats. We have a routine.
Well, that's a routine, and that's just like like, oh, well, this happens at this time, or this happens at then, but would you be able to tell your cats to sit?
I don't think so.
Would you get them to play dead?
No, but I think like generally if I want the cat to lay down, I usually just make a bunch of silly noises and I pat and then it just fucking flops over, but they're big and fat and they just want to rest,
How many cats you got, Spence?
I have 4.
4?
Yeah. I had started out with 2. And then I inherited 2. So I never intended to have 4. I didn't mean to be a crazy old cat lady, but like I had one.
You're just crazy old cat man.
Well, I had one, and he was always alone because I'm never home. I'm always running my ass off all the time. So I was like, well, he needs a buddy, so I got him a buddy. Then my mom passed away, and I inherited her 2 cats, and I was like, well, now I have 4. And then, sometimes there's a hungry-looking one outside, and I feed it. Duh.
Growing up, my best friend had, I think at one point, the most cats she had was like 19.
Dang.
Yeah, this is when I was not allergic to cats, and I could be around them.
That sounds amazing.
And then I developed an allergy as soon as I turned 18. It was like, boom.
That's fucked up.
Grace has to stay away from pussy.
Possibly good advice for us all.
Probably, yeah.
Dude, I was allergic to dogs when I was a kid. Not so much anymore.
Because you don't really sneeze with Finn.
No, I can pet Finn. Nothing doesn't bother me. I have other friends that have dogs. I can pet them. It doesn't bother me, anything like that. I did have a friend who had a couple of Great Pyrenees a few years ago, and I went over to their apartment, and I was with the dogs along, and I did get a little itchy and sneezy from that, but that's probably been 8 years. So
Great Pyrenees are probably the one breed that makes me nervous.
Really?
Yeah, I've been attacked by a few.
They had 2 that were really,
They're
really sweet.
very, very territorial. Just naturally territorial. And if you're not part of their pack and you come on their property and they don't want you to, they will rip you to shreds. And they get up to 200 pounds.
Yeah.
They're huge. I've been attacked by a few because I worked at an animal shelter and we do behavior evaluations, and a lot of Pyrenees always come through, and we always have to do behavior evals or put them on a hold for behavior because they have quirks and we can't adopt them out right away, and they act weird and have to euthanize them because they attacked their adopters or something like that. And so it's just really
weird.
they're just really territorial. They're great dogs. I've met so many amazing Great Pyrenees out.
Yeah.
And then I always ask the owner, how is he or she, how's Buddy, when a stranger comes up and they're like, oh, we got to put him in the basement. We can't.
Interesting.
He can't even see. Yeah. Just a territory thing. It's a natural instinct
They're big too.
they have.
They look like polar bears.
Yeah. Super cute. But this is probably the only breed that really, I'm always on edge. You going to attack me?
I have a really good friend right now she has a greyhound, and it's crazy, and it sleeps in all these weird positions. And when it gets the zoomies, it looks like a cartoon.
Oh yeah,
it goes so fucking fast.
Because they look funny anyways, and they're the fastest dog.
It's insane.
It's I had a friend who worked at a years and years and years ago who worked at a greyhound rescue, and she always had a bunch of from race dogs.
Yeah,
so sad how those dogs are treated.
Oh yeah,
on race. I just can't handle stuff like that.
Like
horse racing, how they I know they get treated well, but most of them don't.
Right.
Maybe the ones that are winning all the time get treated good, but the ones that are not probably do not get treated the best, and that shit just breaks my heart seeing it.
Yeah.
It tears me up. But those dogs, when they are free and can just run, it's so fast.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's unbelievable, and they look so funny.
She sent me a picture of the dog out in the yard just doing laps, and it was incredible. Incredible. It's nuts. Yeah, they're really, really funny. And they lean. They have a long, skinny face, and they'll come up next to you and lean. They lean against you. That's kind of their way of showing affection.
They don't live long.
Really?
Yeah, and they retire them at 3 years.
No shit.
4 years, yeah.
I know that I'm pretty sure she said when she got her. I've known a couple people that had rescued greyhounds. And they said that they had to learn how to go up steps because they'd never gone up steps. They would literally just...
Yeah, it's so weird. Being in a house, too.
Yeah.
All sorts of things.
Strange. And
Walking
they're really
on grass.
They're sweet dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird, man. That's bizarre.
Animals are strange.
Animals are strange. What's the weirdest pet you've ever had? Anything odd?
No, because I don't think any of them are odd.
I had a scorpion for a minute.
No, I've had lizards. I grew up on a horse farm, and so I guess these weren't really pets. But we had a family of foxes that I would feed, and I got to pet them, and we built a little house for them. But they were wild animals, so there was that.
Yeah.
I've had hermit crabs.
I like those little guys too. I saw those at the beach.
Stink really bad.
Do they?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You got to clean. They just stink. I had a friend of mine. She had 5. She loved hermit crabs. She had like 5 of them. Had an amazing setup in an aquarium for them. She named them all sorts of crazy names, like Steve Buscemi and just like, you know, Tom Hanks and all this. And she had like a frog. I don't know what a weird pet would be. I have a friend that has a kangaroo.
What?
A baby, yeah.
A baby kangaroo?
Well, he's the owner of Ponderosa.
Oh.
And he has a baby kangaroo, but currently the baby kangaroo like lives with him. Takes it everywhere. I think it's awesome.
Little Ponderosa. It's one of my. We've talked about it on this show a lot. It's one of my favorites. Actually, when they had that big fire a couple years ago, I got Papa John's to put a donation thing together, and they took money up at all the stores. We donated it all to Little Ponderosa. I love it, and I always fight with the camel.
Yeah.
Everybody's heard me tell the story of the camel. Me and the camel have like a rivalry.
Well, I remember when the fire happened at Ponderosa. I was working at the animal shelter, and we did volunteers and did a fundraising and went out there and like helped, and it was tragic.
Yeah, dude.
It was sad, but I like, you know, when communities come together for stuff like that. So
yeah, there was a story. There's such a sad story about the dog they had, which was kind of like It wasn't like. One of the animals who lived there at the zoo. It was like their personal dog, but it kind of helped corral a lot of the animals. And when the fire happened in the barn, the dog kept running back in there to try to get the other animals out. And eventually it got trapped in there and didn't make it out. But that was
a lot of them did.
sad.
It was sad. They're orangutan. It was sad.
Yeah, dude. Bad news. So we were mega affected by that. Shout out to Little Ponderosa, man. If anybody lives in the greater Knoxville area, I know we would never take anything away from the Knoxville Zoo. They do great work. They've done a ton of good stuff. There's all kinds of cool shit to see there. But man, like, don't forget the little guys either.
Well, most of the animals at Ponderosa Zoo are rescued. Like I had a friend who had the hermit crabs and everything. She had a chinchilla. She donated her chinchilla there because she couldn't properly take care of it. They're very hard to take care of. So a lot of the animals there, like I think the tiger came from a circus or was something. So it was like got sent to the zoo. So are the camels. Like a lot of the animals that are there are rescues or people had them as pets and they can't keep them anymore. So they go to them. And so, definitely, you know, hit them up.
And it's fun. It's so fun to go there.
Cheap.
It's cheap. Get a big bucket of food. Feed everything.
You get to pet them.
There's so many goats.
I have a video of Anna feeding a llama or something, and the llama spits on her. It's one of my. I should put it on TikTok and make it viral because it's the funniest thing. She's literally feeding it, and she's like this close, like how my mic is right here, and it just goes, and it's just you see the spit, just come right on her face, and she's like probably like I guess like 5.
Amazing.
It's so I still die laughing at it,
dude. I went to the fair a couple years ago, and I just went to see a concert. But as I was walking in to the left, I noticed the petting zoo tent had a big Little Ponderosa sign on it. And it turns out that the Little Ponderosa had supplied all the animals for the petting zoo. So it was the same animals. And I went in there and had it out with that camel again.
Did you duke it out with him?
No, see, the camel and I have this love-hate relationship because I love to feed the camel because I love to feed all animals. But the only way you can feed it because it's so tall is you have to kind of hold the bucket up for the camel to take some food out of it. But the camel tries to bite. He bites on and tries to steal the entire bucket. And then we have a little tug of war. This has been going on for years between me and this camel. So I think that's... I actually love the camel, but it's a dick.
I love camels. They are dicks.
This one is particularly a dick. If you get the food too close to it, you're going to have a big tug of war. And I go for it. There's so much cool shit out there. It's great. So many ducks. The ducks will follow you. When they hear the food, the ducks will follow you all over the place.
They got a wolf. That was my favorite.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
They got a wolf, which wolves are my spirit animal and my favorite. And then elephants are second. I'm a huge elephant lover. And then my third is an octopus.
Really? Mm-hmm. Do you think octopuses are aliens?
I think we're all aliens, honestly. But octopus, they're so smart and they feel and they do pain and their intelligent level is just surpassed. Yeah. Most animals. It's like on the level of a dolphin. Yeah. I love them.
Fascinating creature, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And I think they're beautiful.
And they're so unlike everything else on Earth. Very different from...
Yeah, there's nothing like in squid. There's nothing that is similar to those two at all.
Yeah. And I've seen... Yeah, there's what was that video a few years ago of like an octopus and it was changing colors while it was dreaming?
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, just all different colors. You see them opening jars, getting the food, getting out. They're just fucking
super
smart.
Yeah,
they really are. And there's so many things out there to wonder, like, is that an alien? We're probably aliens because we're destroying the earth. We are destroying ourselves, basically.
We're definitely, and again, this is not tinfoil hat stuff, but like, as far as like, we're talking a lot about animals on this podcast and like our relation to animals and stuff. Like, if you look at the evolutionary timeline, like everything kind of progresses very similar. And then somewhere about 50,000 years ago, like we just shoot off.
Yep.
Like not that we weren't necessarily already here, but if they were to somehow prove that aliens did come down and put a little bit of DNA in one particular type of primate and it got really, really, really smart, like I would have to believe it at some point. Like,
it's possible at this point. I mean, hell, gas prices are shooting through the roof and inflation's insane. So,
my God,
anything's possible.
Yeah. This is between the heat waves and the inflation, the gas prices, and all the bullshit. This has been a challenging summer.
Yeah. Did you hear about all the cows that died in Oklahoma?
No, what?
It's like tens of thousands of cows just died from heat wave. Dude, Oklahoma's hot. Like, you don't think it gets hot in Oklahoma? They had the Dust Bowl for years, all the way up to Like, that shit gets hot.
Yeah.
Like, but cows just died. What? There's stuff's happening. This is like the worst drought California, like out west, has seen. Like, it's insane. Aliens are coming back for us, and they're all going to be octopus.
How much of it do you think has to do with like us coming out of that pandemic thing, like where everybody was locked down and like we were like kind of not present in the world for like a summer? Do you think that changed a lot of stuff?
I think it did, but I think it helped. Because remember when we weren't active and
like a lot of the pollution cleared up?
Yeah, it's like things actually helped. I think humans just suck and we're super selfish and we don't care about anything but ourselves, and everyone's doing fucking TikTok and wants to be influencer and wants to do this. Like, no one's like focused on what really matters anymore. And now we're all mad at Biden. Everyone's mad at Biden. Everybody wants Trump back. I don't want Trump back. I don't necessarily want Biden either. But it's kind of like we don't really get a fucking say. And until you realize that us little people don't have a say in any of these things of what the 1%ers are doing, then just live your fucking life. I will not complain about gas price. You won't hear me bitch about how I just filled up my tank for $78. You might hear me bitch being like, damn, that was the last of my $78. But I'm not going to bitch about paying because I'm going to pay it. You're going to pay it. You're going to pay the price of milk. You're going to pay the price of bread.
That's true.
And they don't care. They don't care. They made so much money last year and they're making even more now.
Yep.
And it has nothing to do with the war. The gas price, the oil price, they're just up because they can.
They say now what's about to happen with inflation, that people are starting to like tighten their budgets and stuff. People aren't taking vacations. People aren't doing
good.
Now what's happening is, and apparently this is all like, this is like A plus B equals C. Like, economists knew this was going to happen anyway. But after inflation goes fucking crazy like it has, people spend money for a little bit and then they're like, wait a minute. And then all of a sudden, people start getting laid off. I think Carvana just laid off 3,200 people. And like basically companies they've made all the money they can through the inflation. And now nobody's buying anymore. So they try to preserve the bottom line by firing people. Firing as many people as they can, downsizing the company just to hold on to the profits. Because it's always about the guy at the top and his bank account. Now what that leads to is a labor recession. So now it's supposed to be back to the part whereas before you couldn't get enough people to work. Now it's starting to change. And now they say you're going to have people lined up, like 5 people trying to get every job, kind of a thing. Yeah. It's going to swing back the opposite way.
Because like I'm not working for that company anymore, and everyone's like, oh, Grace, like there's so many places. I know there's a lot of places hiring. I know.
Yeah.
There's tons of places are hiring currently.
But maybe not for long.
Yeah. Maybe. And also,
we'll see.
They're not paying what they should.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It's like things are so if the pay's not worth it, it's just, and that was one reason why I left. It's like I can't be spending $60 going a week in gas.
And I saw that happening, dude. I saw that happen through the pandemic when nobody wanted to work, and I was just like, I get it. And it became real easy to get money to stay home. I get it.
I worked.
I did too, and it was never an option for me to stay home. But I understand, like, for a lot of people, like, they were making more on unemployment than they would have been, like, being.
Oh, yeah, I had tons of friends. They just rode that right out, unemployment.
Yeah. So many people did, but the problem is, and I saw it happen.
I didn't get it.
Dude, I didn't get it either, but what I saw was all of a sudden, like, prices start going up. Everything's, because businesses aren't going to just close. So they start jacking the prices on everything up. And I couldn't believe how quickly it happened. Rent goes up. Rent goes up to $1,200 a month average in Knoxville for an apartment.
Yeah, I just saw like a 1-bedroom, 1-bath apartment for $1,500 in an area that I lived in like 8 years ago, and I paid $750.
Yeah, dude.
I was like,
nuts.
What?
Everything changed like crazy because people were just staying home. And now I'm afraid that it's scary because now I'm afraid they're not going to be able to afford to stay home anymore. And now when they go back into the world looking for what they had before, it's not going to be there.
Yeah.
So strange times to come. But you know what? We'll wrap up on the note. You said something that I think is important to take away from this is you got to worry about yourself. Like the top 1%ers, whoever gets elected, or like most of the time, it has to do with like, you know, you have like these businesses and the banks and the oligarchs. Mm-hmm. Like they control those politicians. Like that's no secret to that. No matter which side of the line you're on, if you're on the left or on the right, or like they're all working for somebody. Follow the money. Like your guy's not interested in your personal freedoms or your rights to
gun rights.
Yeah, they're literally interested
abortion.
in who's giving them the most money, and they're going to go that direction. They bought and sold a long time ago, but they can't buy and sell you and what you do in your day-to-day life in your local community and how you treat other people.
Right.
And like I heard a thing recently. There's the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine, Tom Morello. He put out kind of it sounded like he was kind of giving a seminar, but they made like a little audio book out of it. It was on Audible. But he was talking about, he said, you know what? Definitely as an artist, but probably as also just as a human being, something that everybody should try to do is to try to like speak the truth, whatever your truth is. It may not be the same for everybody, but whatever you feel like is real for you, express that to the fullest. Like be exactly who you are, whatever makes you who you are. Be that full on. Like really find out who you are and be that.
It's the time to reevaluate yourself.
Yeah, and confront
and what you're doing.
And confront injustice wherever you see it.
Oh, yeah.
Like speak the truth and confront injustice.
Be kind.
Be kind. And
and holler at me if you need pet help.
Yeah, talk to Grace Steele there. Right. Is there now? Do you have a social media plug? Do you have anything where?
Yeah, so
Facebook?
you can hit me on Facebook, Grace Steele.
My name. Steele.
Yes, sir. Instagram, Facebook. You can message me.
You are blessed with grace on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can hit me up. I do walks, 20 minutes to 30. Pet sitting. I can do drop-ins, overnights, 24-hour care, any of those. Also, we can do, lessons. You need your dog to stop jumping and lay down and chill out.
You heard it here first. You guys get a hold of Grace and let her help you with your shitty dog. Turn it into a top-notch pooch.
Oh, yeah.
or maybe turn you into not such a shitty dog owner.
Ha ha.